I just got done watching this hyped up event of Xbox talking all about the future of Xbox and Phil Spencer coming out with all the big hitters, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, talking about what to expect. Now, a little bit of a look behind all of this really was fueled by a lot of the FTC findings and leaks. We saw a lot of the roadmap coming out for Xbox. We now know that Xbox has taken over Windows as the third most profitable business unit under the Microsoft umbrella. So there's a lot of eyes on what's going to happen next and a lot of scrutiny. So to be clear, I was hoping that Phil Spencer and community would have something to say. I didn't know what it would be. I wasn't expecting some insane major breaking announcement, but if you're going to hype this up and do this cryptic tweet a week ago and you're going to build up to the event, well, it better be damn amazing. And it wasn't. It was very, very odd. This was a very unforced error by Xbox. I think getting a lot of the people together in the community, asking a lot of questions. There were two major things that came out of this 22-minute podcast. The first was that Xbox is going to release 4 games to the Nintendo Switch and to the PlayStation 5. They didn't name them by name, but I think we all know they're going to be Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and Grounded. And they talk a lot about how all games will remain on Xbox day one. Nothing will change with Game Pass. They'll continue to look at other games to maybe consider bringing those over, but a lot of the games weren't really built for that, and there may be more work. It seemed kind of like a financial decision. Then they waffled a lot. They talked about layoffs. They talked about the future of Xbox and why they want to build up brand pride. They talked about them working on a new console, and they said that they're going to be investing in something that makes them even more successful. And folks, that was it. Now, I asked the question really to myself, and as I'm listening to this and reading some of the feedback online and kind of wondering, like, why'd you guys even do this? What was the point of all this? Maybe it was to try to give an official company response in kind of retaliation for all of the leaked plans. Maybe it was to save face, to talk a little bit about the layoffs that they had and some of the nonsensical musings that we've heard from Phil lately. But it didn't change anything, and he didn't really say, or none of them, not even Sarah or Matt, really said anything of any substance that we didn't already know. Of course they're going to continue to build their brand. Of course they're going to try to make gamers feel like investing in the Xbox brand, investing in Game Pass is a good decision. Of course they're going to keep games that were very, very expensive to make, like Indiana Jones and Starfield, close to the vest, and you're not going to see those on other platforms. But what we still had was that same kind of wishy-washy narrative that we've seen from Phil Spencer and crew in the past, where they talk about how, hey, yes, games are going to be the future. And yes, we are working on building more exciting new experiences. And yes, we want to build things in inclusivity, and we want to have cross-play and cross-progression and cross-save. And it's important for Xbox to understand that players are jumping from platform to platform, but they didn't offer any solutions to the problem we didn't already know. Party lines have already been drawn. If you're playing a game on PlayStation's ecosystem, with a very few small exception of games like Call of Duty and Fortnite and Destiny, most of the games are locked to their respective platforms. And Microsoft didn't say or change anything to the contrary. They're not really falling on the sword, so to speak. They're not releasing high-titled or high-priced games over to Sony or to Nintendo. They're not leasing out Gears of War or Halo or Forza to other platforms. They're keeping the things that they spent a lot of money on and feel invested in close to themselves. And they're taking things that they might be able to scrape up a few more bucks for and throwing them across the party lines. I don't really see this as some major game-breaking announcement. So when I hear about this is the future of Xbox and we're going to have this, and we're going to have this podcast, we're going to basically lay everything out to you guys, and we're going to essentially, lay out our roadmap and our plans and what does the future of the console and the platform look like. It's business as usual. That's what it looks like. It was a little frustrating, and looking back on it and listening and waiting to see if really any of this comes to fruition, if anything changes, I think the answer is going to be no. I don't think anything significant is going to come from this. Yes, Microsoft was definitely set back by some of the leaks. Yes, I think a lot of the stuff that came out on the FTC showed a different side of Microsoft than we were expecting. So maybe this was partially like a PR type thing. There was a lot of buzzwords used in there, talking again about, the future of gaming and player loyalty and player satisfaction and culminating in environment and building up trust in the brand. So this feels like it was in maybe response to the layoffs, maybe in response to the dirty laundry that the FTC came out. It almost feels to me like, honestly, somebody higher up than Phil Spencer in the company said, hey, you know what? We never really kind of resolved what was going on with this. And while people have the memory the size of a pea and forgot about a lot of the leaks and forgot about a lot of the stuff that we had talked about, we need to officially respond to this. And Phil and the team was like, well, time has passed. Nobody really remembers. I don't think we have to give a press statement or a press release on this anymore. And their management said, no, you have to. And this podcast was a result of that. We're going to throw some softball news out there. We're going to tease the idea that even though we've been waffling on exclusivity, we're really not going to waffle on exclusivity. We're going to still make games that are available for people to play. We're not going to really dedicate to physical releases. So we're still kind of waffling on whether or not things are going to be digital only or in a physical world. We are working on a new console. We don't have much to say about it now other than it's going to be the best thing ever, like every other console has been, right? By the way, a lot of the games that we paid a ton of dough for through the Bethesda or the Activision Blizzard agreements will remain property of us. That was the announcement. So I don't know where to go with this one. As I wrap up kind of thoughts on this, it was honestly, the more I think about it, it was kind of dumb. I don't know what the point of any of this was other than, like I said, it was directed from management to talk about this. There was no concrete dates or there was no concrete edicts that were made. Not that there needs to be, you don't have to constantly get in front of your audience and define who you are. You just act and your audience will make the decision on what kind of brand they want you to be. You don't have to constantly give the State of the Union speech weekly. Let the gamers decide if this is something that they want to invest in. You don't see Nintendo or Sony coming out with these things. So why did Microsoft? Very, very odd and a total waste of time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.